What happened before the Big Bang? This is a perfectly normal question to ask, and it has a very, very unintuitive answer. It should be fairly obvious what happened before the Big Bang was nothing. When you think of the concept of nothing, you may be thinking of like when you close your eyes, what you see, or maybe an empty room, or space. The cold, vast sort of deadness of empty space. And this is an important distinction that physicists make. When they say nothing, what they mean is nothing. They mean that there's no space, no time, no nothing. When you close your eyes, you are seeing something. Darkness is something, because darkness exists in some space, and that space has a geometry, and you can assign coordinates to that space and put a metric over that space and allow for the potential of some object to exist in that space. So empty space even is not nothing. Nothing means no space, no time, no nothing. And then at t equals 0, the universe bursts into existence from, I think the way that it's mainly described is sort of quantum fluctuations. And don't be discouraged if that doesn't make sense to you either, because it's a confusing topic. But what I will tell you is if you look up a vacuum, the mapping of the energy within a vacuum. So a vacuum is as close as we could possibly get to nothing while still having space. So if you pump all of the energy, all of the particles, everything out of some space, you still have these fluctuations that happen. It's called vacuum energy. And it's an important concept in trying to start to think about the conditions in the early universe, and maybe right when the Big Bang banged. And you may have heard it said that physicists will disagree with the grammar of the question, what happened before the Big Bang? You're asking what happened before t equals 0. And this analogy is often given by people like Brian Greene and Brian Cox and some other sort of famous science communicators. They say, imagine you're at the equator and you ask some stranger that you pass by to point you in the direction of north. So they point you north and you move along in that direction. And you say to someone else, can you point me in the direction of north? I'm trying to go north. And you go north that much more. And you keep doing this. And finally you arrive at the North Pole and you ask whoever's at the North Pole, can you point me in the direction of north? And they'll say, you're at north. You're at the North Pole. There is no more north than where you're currently standing. And cosmology and the early universe is extremely interesting. Look at the Hubble Deep Field, look at the James Webb Telescope. A lot of cool images come out of that to try to give us a sense of what happened in the early universe. Like, comment, subscribe.